Bueno, aquí en Singapur estamos con el señor Raphael Chua de Surbana Jurong. Queremos agradecerle mucho que tome esta entrevista para el financiero Bloomberg. Mr. Chua, thank you for speaking to us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Yeah.
Not many people are familiarized with what Surbana does, but I understand this is a very relevant company for Singapore, for the history of Singapore, and for planning cities all over the world. Could you just explain what Surbana does?
Okay, maybe I go back a little down the history. Basically, if you know the name Surbana Jurong, it comprises of two organizations, Surbana and Jurong. Surbana comes from the government entity that builds public housing. And then Jurong, on the other hand, comes from another institution that created by the government for industrialization of Singapore, which is Jurong. So in last year, we combined together. We call ourselves Surbana Jurong. So we are in the business of township planning, affordable housing planning, also industrialization planning, industrial planning. Of course, also lately we have also acquired a company called SMAC, so which is under our family of Surbana Jurong, which is an Australian company. Their history dates back to in as far back to the 1940s, where they are responsible for the infrastructure development of Australia. So right now, Surbana Jurong is very strong, basically in affordable housing, township planning, industrialization, as also down to, in fact, infrastructure planning.
So when you say the planning, is it the planning itself, like making all these, I don't know if it is like visions of how a city should look like, and then managing the implementation of that?
Basically, because we are from all three entities actually from the government of Singapore and the government of Australia, we actually carry out planning, implementation, and also management, depending on the needs of our client. Yeah, certain clients may need just up to master planning. Certain clients may want us to assist in managing. But of course, managing, we will not be there to manage, but we will draw out a framework that we can work together.
And then I understand you are beginning to enter into the Mexican market. How is that?
We think we consider Mexico as a very progressive country, particularly with the new government that comes in with many reforms. And these reforms we deem as very progressive, very open. We felt that Mexico will be our base office. From the base office, we will then conduct our business into the surrounding areas like Brazil, Ecuador. So that's a base office for Latin America countries.
Will it be for planning cities as well?
Well, for planning cities right down to infrastructure planning. Yep.
Because in Mexico we used to say that we are not any good at planning, and probably we can learn a lot of what you have done here in Singapore and Australia. What have you envisioned for? I don't know if you have already like examples of specific cities in Mexico or Latin America that you know that this should be improved in this other way. Have you already envisioned that?
I suppose I wouldn't want to. I suppose I will come from an angle of we are sharing our development experience, because different cities, different countries, you have your own strengths and your own weaknesses. The beauty, of course, with us is that we are small. Being small, we are compact. We are into very much compact planning, and also infrastructure and also urban solution, because our country is small, so that every inch of the land is very crucial for us. That's where that's where our experience is from. Although Mexico, maybe Brazil or Ecuador is a big country, but nevertheless, planning, we try our best to stick to what we call compact planning, meaning optimization of the land within a small area, so that you can free the rest of the land for agriculture. Even for an environmental sensitive area, you can leave it alone for as long as you want. So that we are coming from that angle. But I must say that when we go to Mexico, Brazil, Ecuador, it's never a Surbana Jurong project. It is a project where we mutually work together as a team. Yeah.
What would be the most relevant challenge for any given city in Latin America or other parts of the world when you begin to change your mindset towards planning for the future? What's the most relevant challenge?
I think that Changing our mindset is the most challenging, of course, but it's through gradual education. I suppose more and more Mexican, Brazilian also leave the country and see for themselves elsewhere in the world. And when they see from themselves elsewhere in the world, they have different reference point. So when you see a different reference point, it is easier maybe to convey a certain message of planning easier right now, because I think with globalization and the works, it is easier when the what they call the ideas and concepts that is seen in other places of the world by the citizen of another country. So it's easier perhaps to work through that.
The world is changing a lot. You know that we have our own challenges with the NAFTA agreement that it's probably going to be renegotiated in the future. Do you see more this is a time where Asian economies should convey more towards Latin America and vice versa?
I think there is a lack of awareness between Latin America as well as Asian countries. I think both countries has a lot to offer to each other. For example, I mean, I always take a very good example is that when I go to a supermarket in Brazil or in Mexico, you have lots of stuff which are not present here in Asia. So it's Asia, lots of stuff are not here, you see. So I think there is a lack of knowledge, probably a lack of awareness between the two great continents, I suppose. And for Asia, Asia economy is growing very big. And you know, places like Cambodia, Vietnam, even Myanmar, they are growing. And then the middle class is also getting very big. So the demands of goods and services are different from maybe 10 years ago. And that's where I suppose Latin American countries can capitalize on it. Yeah.
I guess that because of your age, you by yourself witnessed the development of Singapore. What would be your most important memory or experience in the last 40 years that you said we did this in a correct way so that we could develop?
I think there are many factors, of course, that contribute to the success of Singapore. But I think I can narrow it down to three most important factors. One, our belief in long-term planning. We are planning, say, 20 years, 30 years down the road. This is what we call demand planning. We project the demand, say, especially industrial land. For example, industrial land, why I say that is important to safeguard or reserve industrial land for the future is that industrial land, in terms of real estate value, is very low as compared to maybe residential, commercial. If you don't safeguard those industrial land, it will be gone by market forces. So industrial land are crucial. They have to be at strategic location. Without that, it's gone. For example, today, if you take airport, today we move, there's a paradigm shift in as far as airport is concerned. We move the concept of airport terminal, transportation terminal no longer is the only concept. We treat airport as an economic engine. Therefore, if it's an economic engine, the land surrounding the airport is very important, particularly industrial land, because some industries have to be near airport for efficiency, for optimization.
The airport itself, it's like a living city.
Yes, it is a city. Second thing is that I think Singapore does it well is a creation of ecology. A creation of ecology. This ecology is skewed towards industrial and business ecology, because I think today, if you were to offer, I suppose, incentive, I'm not saying that incentives is not important. It's important, but incentive is something which competitive countries can copy very easily. Once you create the right ecology, meaning the alignment of human resource, the availability of the livability, you create a livability environment, which is something which very, very hard for countries to copy, competitive countries to copy once you get it right. Once you get that right, you need to scale it up. So it's even harder. So business and industrial ecology is the second factor which I think Singapore does it well.
Like an ecosystem.
Yes. Yeah. Of course, the third important thing is, I suppose, is the alignment of infrastructure together with the physical development. Because if you let physical development move ahead of infrastructure, you may find yourself a lack of electricity, lack of power, things like that. So the alignment of infrastructure, the alignment of human resource together with the physical development is crucial.
And finally, I would like to ask you, you will be moving to Monterrey City in a few months. What are your expectations of our country? How do you expect to live in there?
I have been to Mexico City, I think maybe already 3 times. I have fantastic opinion of the city. Monterrey, in fact, I have not been there yet, but I suppose similarly, Mexico City, Monterrey, they are of equal. I am going there with an open mind. Of course, it will be challenging because for me, from an Asian culture, going to Latin American culture, I may have to adjust a little bit. But nevertheless, I'm looking forward to actually participate in Mexico's physical development.
Do you think you will miss the Asian food?
Maybe just the chicken rice, that's it.
Mr. Chua, thank you so much for speaking to us.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Continuamos.
Y bien, esta fue la entrevista que Carlos Mota realizó a